So, welcome to another episode of Behind the Stream podcast, where we talk to some of your favorite and not so favorite streamers and find out what makes them tick. Today, guest is in the top 3% of all streamers on Twitch, quickly approaching that 800 follower mark. So excited to talk to this guy. Twitch partner. He prides himself on a light-hearted, witty, relaxing entertainment, slightly on the adult side. Form of entertainment with something he calls Viz gameplay, violence, intensity, integrity, and sportsmanship. Straight from Canada. Welcome, Cataclysmic Scar. How are you, buddy?
Doing great, Flash. Thanks for having me over tonight.
Man, always an honor. Always an honor. We're doing some fun stuff over here, just trying to put out some different kind of content that nobody else is putting out. So tell me, what do you want folks to know about Scar? What do you want folks to know about you?
No, for sure. So the whole point of what I'm trying to do in my channel and what I call in the community with the Abyss is that we're just trying to provide an opportunity for people to kind of forget about their everyday stress, kick their feet up at the end of a long day, sit back, relax, and have a few laughs in the community, and just kind of try to show people that you can take actions to leave things better than the way you found them, and take actions today to make tomorrow better than yesterday, sort of thing, right? And just at the end of the day, we're all here to kind of roast me along the way and have a few laughs at my, more often than not, misplays than highlights.
Oh yeah, we all get our chat roasts us at our own expense. That's for sure. Absolutely. So what about what you do? What about anything? What excites you? What gets you coming back to this every day?
So the biggest thing that's kind of really hooked me on streaming is, I'm just like a small town kid from rural Canada. I'm just never in a million years that I think that anybody would ever be interested in tuning into my stream or coming into my offline content or anything like that. So the most exciting thing for me is kind of seeing people come in and day out and kind of returning, or like people just saying that they're excited for what's going on in the channel and where we're going with stuff. So like what excites me is honestly just hearing that the community is excited for what we're doing, and just hearing I have a few of my IRL friends that tune in the odd time, and like they'll kind of say like, oh, that was a really sweet thing that you did there, or that was really funny there. Like just all the positive feedback you get just kind of really fuels me to keep coming back.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. I totally can feel that. So what's your story? How did you start? Did you kind of just like me, just kind of fell into it, or was it more of a deliberate step that you wanted to do? What's your story?
So for me, like I have been gaming pretty much since before I could walk. I have older siblings that are like 8 and 10 years older than me. So my older brother is like the oldest out of all of us, and he was like a gamer for as long as they can be. So he's like, we're talking like the Turbo Graphics, the Sega, like all of those old consoles. So I always looked up
old, man, because I'm like I'm like Pong and Atari, like not even Atari 2600, just regular Atari. Yeah, that was me. So totally get it.
Oh, I know, and I remember the Atari, like faint memories of the Atari.
Yeah,
but no,
one
so
button and a stick.
Yeah, exactly, right. No, so it's I just really looked up to my older brother, and I idolized him. So him and I would always kind of play games together growing up. So I was just always kind of a natural gamer. And then just especially being from a small town, and I didn't really fit with any of the cliques or friend groups that were in my town. So I just gaming was my out. And I always kind of turned to gaming it kind of turned to my happy place. So for years, I was just my always kind of happy go-to thing. And then when it was kind of around the late 2000s, early 2010s, that's when I kind of started to realize that there is this whole like online gaming community, and that's more of like the content creation world. So I kind of started to dip my toe into that a little bit. But the first thing that I'll ever remember that really kind of caught me on was streaming in the online content creation world was Stone Mountain's YOLO series. In particular, it was the Battlefield 1 episode that he did, where they were like trying to fix the tank and all that stuff, and that one just immediately got me hooked. And that's when I really actually realized that there's this whole world and universe to this whole online content creation stuff. So I started just kind of following the YouTube side of it and kind of the offline content side of it. I was aware of Twitch and all that stuff, but I was like, I don't really see the appeal to all of this. I don't understand that. Like, you're just at the end of the day watching a guy play video games online. But I enjoyed kind of watching more of the funny sticks and spiels and offline content. And it wasn't really until I was sitting at work one day, because I work an office job, and I was just kind of on break and I was relaxing, and that's when I saw Stone Mountain, and Facebook just picked him up, and he just started streaming to Facebook. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting here on coffee break. I'm like, let's see what this thing's all about. And he was streaming PUBG with Fuglet, Acolyte, and Tomographic, the Fast Squad. And that's when I kind of actually, like, that's when Stone only had like 600 to 800 concurrent viewers as well. So that's when I just immediately got hooked on it. I loved it. But I was never in an opportunity in my life where I had the free time or the cash flow to kind of really get invested into it. So I was just kind of, I'm just going to kind of stay on the sidelines, watch this, follow along with it. So then, fast forward a few years later, I got my degree, got my full-time job, and things have settled down a little bit for me now. That then, it's we're kind of stuck at home with quarantine, and my wife finally looked at me one day and she's like, you know what? I have been sick and tired of listening to you for the last 6 years say that I could do this, go do it. So she got me a webcam, got me in touch with a graphic designer. The next day we went and bought like a pre-built Acer Inspire so I could just stream my Xbox gameplay. And she's like, look, you got everything you need now. You're going to be stuck at home all the time now. No excuses. Go do this.
Good deal.
So
really the Stone Mountain content was the defining moment that kind of moved you into that area. I think Stone Mountain's got a lot of defining moments in other people's lives.
Oh yeah, it's the YOLO series just had me dying with it. Yeah. When he's just trying to the over the top trying to act like he's actually in it. That had me rolling, and I fell in love with it from there. And that's kind of when I started to find out like about Dr. Disrespect and kind of stuff like that. So like a lot of like what I get with my Viz stuff is kind of who I get from inspiration. So like from Stone Mountain, Dr. Disrespect, Rexzilla, I tried to like funnel those three into create my Cataclysmic Scar online persona.
Good. Yeah. No, excellent. So out of everything that your perception is of you, so what do you think is a common myth that that other people think about you, or that folks think about you?
So, like, a lot of people when they see, it's just, I kind of come off as like a bit of like a Chad at times, and then I'm just kind of like your stereotypical like younger guy that's kind of like a college frat boy. But I'm really not like that at all. I'm super opening and welcoming, and I'm actually like a huge nerd on the inside too. It's like I play Dungeons and Dragons on the side, or at least I used to. I'm a big softie at heart. Like when my wife and I are watching romantic comedies or like anything like that, it's usually me crying, not her. So like I'm actually have this big super soft side.
No, totally. And that was, I mean, when you and I first met, that was completely my view of you. I mean, I was like, college frat boy sitting in the basement drinking, playing games with a bunch of buddies. I mean, that was really the first impression I had of you. And then, we've known each other for about a year now, I guess. And it's definitely not that. So I do appreciate it. So out of everything that you have going on, what's your favorite noise right now? What's your favorite sound right now? What do you like to hear? Besides, of course, your alert going off that somebody subscribed.
So I kind of have like my whole ritual that I do when I'm coming downstairs, whether it's to stream or anything. But it's like actually with this new headset that I got, that it's like powering on, mic off. It's kind of like the whole Iron Man thing when he's like talking to like Jarvis at the time. It's kind of like that whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm in my battle station now. Let's go.
Good. Yeah. No, totally. I get it. I totally get it. So I know you are as a Canadian, and it wouldn't be right if you weren't a Canadian and not a beer connoisseur. So what's your favorite beer you're drinking right now? What are you drinking? As I'm drinking tea.
It's I found this local brew that they do a certain kind of radler, but they put a little bit of pop in it. So it's like kind of this sweeter radler. I can't remember the name off the top of my head of it. It's super, super hard to find. So far, I've only been able to kind of find it at this one liquor store in town here, but it's been my absolute go-to. Oh, it's like this blood orange radler. That's what it's called.
Okay. So as a non-drinker, because I don't drink, so I love your descriptions, because we kind of went back and forth on this the other night too about on your stream you were talking about what you were drinking. So I'm digging it. That needs to be a whole segment. And like a bigger segment, like, you have to have the pop where you're like, right there at the microphone, and so you get that good crack.
I do that a little bit. It's been one of my actually one of my longest running segments. I call it Tactical Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
It started off with just like, me being like, oh, I'm just playing beer, like drinking and playing games on Thursday. So Thirsty Thursday, like when you're going out to the bar and stuff like that. And I just kind of have built up on it since. That's what I do. It's I kind of decided to kind of find some local Canadian beer. I find 2 of them, post them to my Instagram story, and the community picks which one I'm going to be showcasing that night.
Sweet.
It's actually pretty cool. I've gotten some good kind of coverage from it. One of the breweries that I showcased, they made a Twitch account just to follow me, and they've actually tuned into like quite a few ones, even if it's not their beer being showcased. They'll be like, oh yeah, no, we know that brewery. We've met with them at this time. So you'll have to try this one from them and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's been really...
So I'm usually...
Yeah,
I usually have something going on Thursday night, so that's probably why I don't get to see it. So...
Yeah, it's one of my favorite segments that I look forward to as well, because it's actually really like broadened and expanded like my beer taste. Before I was just kind of very much like, oh, I'm only into wheat ales and wheat ales only, but I've kind of actually started dipping my toes into like the IPAs and the sours, some of the porters now because of it, and so it's been actually really good.
Good deal. Awesome. So what was your last awkward moment?
Oh man, I have so many awkward moments.
Can we narrow it down to just maybe 1 or 2?
Like, the last awkward one that I have that my community doesn't like to let go is my wife. When she was signing up for Twitch, she wanted to get it like a cool name and everything like that too, right? So I was just like, oh, just be like Mrs. Scar or something like that. And she just flat out looked at me and she's like, no! She's like, I can't just be tied to you for everything. I want to be independent from you. So she named her account Miss Malevolence. And for the longest time, I could not pronounce it right. So there was one day she was just sitting over here while I was gaming, and she was still typing in chat and stuff. And then while I was trying to say the name, she kind of corrected me just off camera, and she's like, God damn it, when are you going to get it right? And it was just kind of like... So then, like, even like...
No, go ahead.
Like, yeah, all my communities even still like, when are you going to get it right? Damn it, Scar. Like, come on. It's your wife's name. Like, Jesus.
Well, so that's why I call you Scar more often than not, because for some reason I'm getting ready to raid you or whatever, and that's what I get. I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to go talk to Scar. And they're like, no, you mean Cataclysmic Scar? And I'm like, yes, Cataclysmic Scar. It's a lot of C's in there, man. So, yeah, no, totally. I can see where that can happen. So I'm on your side, man. Those guys got to stick together. Totally.
Oh, I know. It's so many people butcher the Cataclysmic Scar, and like, I'm not even gonna lie. So, the first gamer tag that I ever had, I got it from a skateboard video, and this is like how I got my gamer tag. It was called Cataclysmic Abyss. It was a skateboard video from the company called Foundation. So I was like running around trying to make my first Xbox gamer tag when I was like 14 years old, and I found this skateboard video, and I'm like, that sounds really cool, and that's unique. I want to do that. But when I was typing out the name, I mispronounced or misspelled cataclysmic, and I just said catalysmic. So, but then I'm like, when I'm getting into streaming, I need to actually have proper spelling so I don't get roasted about that. So that's how I found. But when I tried to do that on Xbox, there wasn't enough characters to do Cataclysmic Abyss. So that's why I just shortened it up to Cataclysmic Scar, and that's why I call my community the Abyss.
Nah, I like it.
So it's just kind of a shout
okay,
out.
so it shout out ties in. I see. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So what can we do besides push these out there and get these podcasts listened to and all that good stuff? How can I help you? And I like to ask those questions because a lot of times it'll throw people off because they're like, well, I don't expect anything, but everybody needs something.
No, I just say, like, especially right now, there's a lot of like weird things going on right now around in like the internet verse and everything like that. So just continuing to be a solid, good friend and support system. Flash is kind of what I've always appreciated. So just continue to be an awesome, genuine person that you are, and just be a great friend to me, and that's all I kind of really need.
I don't think you have to worry about that. We're I like our witty conversations that we have every now and then, and because we're on two different schedules, it's usually through Discord. So I'm totally
yeah,
down
exactly.
with that. If I can keep that up, I definitely will. So what's next for the Scar Abyss? What's your next big thing that you've got going on?
So I'm looking at kind of just continuing to get back into more of the offline content. I know when the baby was born, baby Scarlet came along, I've had to kind of like take a step back from that, but I've been kind of taking this time to really get back to the creative cycle and figure out, I'm like, okay, how can I make some offline content that is going to be equivalent to the YOLO series? So people should be staying tuned to my TikToks, because I'm going to be continuing to get back in the routine of dropping some new original stuff there. That's going to be kind of a very unique stick and spiel, and not just like, oh, here's just my highlights of me getting 2 kills on Warzone. Here's me sniping this guy.
Yeah.
That's going to be a more unique shtick and spiel of that, and it's going to be a little bit more engaging as well. So that's what I got going on. It's going to be, I'm excited for it. I bounced around the idea with a few different folks and content creators, and I'm really excited to kind of roll that out in the next few weeks.
Yeah,
here.
I'm excited to see it. Sounds like it's going to be really, really fun. All right. Now it's time to put some stress on you here. So it's the lightning round. So the way this works is we're going to shift gears. We're going to go into the lightning round. I'm going to ask you a question. The idea is to give me an answer as quickly as you can with a word or a phrase, or at most a sentence. So just right off the top of your head. You got it?
Is it like trivia, or is it just like my opinion on something?
You'll find out. First question. Morning person or a night person?
Night person.
Night person. What annoys you the most?
People that make noises with their mouth, like loud eaters, or like lip noises and tongue noises. Like nope,
Okay. Now you've suddenly made me completely self-confident. I'm like, okay, I can't say anything. Blue or black ink?
Blue ink.
Blue ink.
As I'm
okay.
holding a blue pen.
That I like it. Is it wrong for vegetarians to eat animal crackers?
No,
No.
there's no actual meat in it, so like, no, they're not hurting a real animal.
Okay. Hopefully your wife's not in the room. Ariel or Jasmine?
Ariel.
Oh, man. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how good at wiffle ball are you?
Oh, like a 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I am terrible. I like anything like that. I'm terrible at.
Okay, good. Climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Jump from a plane. That's actually on my bucket list. I want to go skydiving.
See, I was going to ask you what was on your bucket list, so I like that. Awesome. So most embarrassing store you may have been seen shopping at?
Oh man, I mean, I've done lingerie and underwear shopping for my wife, so like,
Okay.
trying to be like the only guy shopping in like La Senza and stuff like that is yeah.
Okay, and you're not like holding the purse, you're like going in.
Oh, and I was solo too, right? So everyone's just like,
Yeah.
who is this guy walking into this woman's underwear store alone?
That's right. You got to wear the creepiest clothes you can at that point.
It's
So,
dark hood up, and it's like, don't look at me.
don't look at me. That's right. Exactly. All right. Last question, and this one's kind of tough. It could be tough. So the setup is kind of lengthy. So I debated on whether I should ask someone this, and you got the green light. So congratulations. So you lost your spouse to the Thanos snap. 5 years later, the Avengers brought them back. But you're remarried and have 3 kids, and you've spent all the life insurance money on a failed food truck. Do you get back with your old spouse, or do you stay with the Thanos snap family?
Okay, so, but my 3 kids are with the new wife?
Yes.
I don't know, man. My wife right now is my first and only love, so I would probably go back to her. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
No one will get me like she does, so I'm going back to my first wife, 100%.
Good.
I would...
Okay. She must be near then.
No, I would like amicably end it with the second wife and just be like, how much I've talked about like my first wife here. She's my person. So like I want to keep this like at least to a friendship level, and I will continue to help raise our kids. But like my first wife is like my wife Whitney is my love. She is my better half, and she's the love of my life. So like,
Awesome.
Sorry, but
No, that's cool. It's one of those questions that you don't know if you're really going to offend somebody. I mean, so it's a good answer. Good answer. Your wife will be really, really proud of you. I'm sure she will. So tell our listeners how they can contact you, your streams, all your handles. This is your 30-second commercial, so take it.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in to Flash's podcast here. I really appreciate having the opportunity to come on here. So yeah, as Flash kind of talked about here, I run my streams on Twitch, and I do something called Viz. That's Violence, Intensity, Integrity, Sportsmanship. So it's kind of a high octane head banter sort of energy. So my streams are all about roasting me and having fun as we go along doing this. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. to midnight Mountain Standard Time. You can catch me on essentially any social media platform with Cataclysmic Scar. Especially, I post a lot on Twitter, and I'm getting back on TikTok shortly here.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. So make sure, thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you leave a comment, a review, a 5-star rating. They all help the podcast on every avenue possible because we're out there on everything. Literally takes 90 seconds for you to leave a 5-star review, and me and Scar will be your bestie. So, Scar, man, that's it. I'm going to let you have the last say. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me for a few minutes.
No, and hey, like Flash, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to come and do this. This is great. If you're ever looking to do anything further, you know where I'm at.
I totally will. There may be a follow-up video in the future with maybe some beer involved. So
oh, hell yeah.
Have to send me some beer. So, okay. So, thanks, guys.